I don't know. I honestly don't know where you go. Right, once you've admitted to yourself what's going to happen.
The Ox, the big man from down the block. He boxed and warred and drank and roared, but was built from golden stock. He'd break his voice to nothing when he spoke about the docks, but he'd smile and say he's on his way for peace. The Ox, the big man from down the block. It broke his heart to see the faces on the road when he was caught. He fought his friends, we'd shake his hands, and then we'd hit the same old spots. He'd smile and say the pain was his release. I met him for the first time in an age out on the train. His midday cans at his feet were hidden from display, and he says, Dave, mate, tell us what has you out this way. Are you boxing in the same old place, or have you moved out from the Grange? He said he moved about and shadow boxed at his box room every day, but he was getting on in age, now 52, didn't feel the same. He had an Alex Higgins sway on a battling Nelson frame, and he was only just the Ox in name. The Ox, the big man from down the block. He boxed and warred and drank and roared, but was built from golden stock. He'd break his voice to nothing when he spoke about the docks, but he'd smile and say he's on his way for peace. The Ox, the big man from down the block. It broke his heart to see the faces on the road when he was caught. He fought his friends, we'd shake his hands, and then we'd hit the same old spots. He'd smile and say the pain was his release. I'd drive him home at night from time to time at days of sweat. I was wet behind the ears, but he put me wide to life and death. Davey, don't you know, the more you grow, the more you'll learn what's worth regret. And there's no better place to end your race than when you settle all your debts. He walked the roads at night alongside his Uncle Chrissy. Always said he had no time to be busy, lost in history. All he ever loved was good friends and Tin Lizzie. The year he tried to shed the extra pounds, he took the hound and ran himself to ground with the boys are back in town on a speaker around his neck blaring loud. Like some stocky Dublin Rocky, shatterboxed the air as he went. Dead set on health all the way until the day his daddy fell. And he was back on the drink like the hounds of hell, and he yelled and lined up pints of 10, and he drank more and roared, the boys are truly back in town again. And he'd say, Dave, I pray things for me will change. Me legs, they won't keep giving out, and the drink won't rule my ways. He'd smile and wink and sway. He buried Scout inside her, he made his name as a local fighter, and he'd shout about the beatings that he took from priests. They kicked him from the inn, he'd go out and try his luck again. He tried to drown himself to find some inner peace. He taught me early, Dave, you have to speak sincerely. Nearly no one had a bad word to his name. He said the drink should fear me, but it left him weak and weary. Clearly never found the friend that he became. When he spoke, the scar upon his cheek would ripple with each word. It was savaged out in '99 from a fist fight at his door. He used to whisper to the lot of us that he always wanted more, but good stout and friends about the ends was all we could afford. But still he seemed happy, or at least he told you that he was. Down to town, another round, and then he'd coach you through your wars. Walk the dogs and say hello, and he'd drink and drink some more. And he broke our hearts the day they finally found him on the floor. They gave him a pardon, he was survived by his garden. I think his spirit continues to box. His name was John Martin, he turned all his cards in, but everyone called him the Ox.
What's gonna happen? 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 What's gonna happen?
Daylight safe like he was the one from her dreams. He chose an 8-pint goodbye and then a cry in the field. Playwright passions, he put the world on a page. He said he needed to finish when he had the world as his stage. He never sat inside a plane. When she left, he chose to stay. He wrote her cards he knew he'd never send. He said a